I think people come to Langar to enjoy the fantasy, to enjoy the experience of spending an afternoon or a couple of days in an English country house, exactly as it probably would have been 100 years ago. And Langar is quite a modest house, so they feel relaxed and they can have fun, and they can bring their children, and they can get a little drunk, and they can have some good food, and enjoy each other's company, and generally forget about the realities of every day. Once a year at midsummer, they can even enjoy Shakespeare on the lawn.
But the thing is
lunch
after
isn't
you got
too
the
bad.
BBC coming, you got lunch not too bad. Dinner
Pascal originally came as a
like
waiter,
Thursday.
and then he left.
Got 2
And I missed him so much that I had to bribe him back.
It's all right.
He's another manager, the wine expert. He's generally Mr. Charm. Saturday
we got 14 on a party for lunchtime. And yes, ladies' lunch party.
Good evening, come along in.
Come along. Hello, my name's Tom. Your name is?
Come along. And are you come to stay or for dinner?
We come for dinner. We
Good. And you're wonderful. Come along through. And how many of you? 3? 4 of us. 4 of us. Come along through. Well, it's so nice. You might like to have a drink in the garden. The unusual thing about me as a restaurateur is that I was actually born in the house and have spent almost all my life here. The other thing is that I had no plan, and that I didn't actually start until I was 50 years old. I was born just before the war, the last war, and we had, of course, the most wonderful childhood. And the wartime was a marvellous time for children because we didn't go anywhere, nothing was expected of us. We just played in the garden, our imaginary games, and any social life took place in the village. And Langar also had an airfield where at one time the American Air Force were based. And they used to throw chewing gum out of the back of their lorries as they went through the village. And us children used to run after them and pick up the chewing gum. But Nanny said that this was Hitler's way of distributing poison to the children of England and that we mustn't eat it. And the most extraordinary thing was that we believed her. But now I'm afraid I have a terrible habit of chewing gum all the time. My father was never a rich man. But because he made a little money on the stocks and shares in the 50s, he thought he was much richer than he was. So he had a beautiful Bentley. All right, it was 1937 and 1957. He led a very leisurely life, and we enjoyed a very privileged childhood. I married Andrew Skirving in 1963, and we were both in the picture business. He was in old pictures, and I was in modern pictures. We married and we moved to Nottingham, where he had a gallery, and we had 2 daughters. The youngest, Muriel, died when she was 18 months, and the oldest, Louise, lives in India and has 2 beautiful children of her own. My father actually gave me the house when he was still alive in 1968, when it was valued at only £11,000, but the place was in such a state, and I had no money at all, that I thought I've got to make some money to paint the house up, to present it for sale. Follow me. And so I started doing dinner, bed and breakfast. I used to put in a bathroom every year for 5 years. I think in all I've put in about 12 bathrooms and then put them all in again because the first one were cheapos and the second ones were slightly better. Yeah, this is the lilac room, and it's a small 5-foot bed. Or it's a good single room.
Lovely.
It needs a bit of tender loving care. I'd always had lodgers, and the only thing that I think that made them warm to staying here was the food, because I was always again adamant I cooked myself, and the food was always that much better. And the wine, you know, wasn't ordinary plonk. I gave them decent wine. All the money that comes into the hotel and the restaurant goes back into the building. So this is the master bedroom, the largest bedroom. It's called the Edwards room. And it has a bathroom up the stairs. Can't think why they put... Flowers need light. No, they don't want a mirror to look into. This is the first picture I ever bought at auction when I was about 20. And it is, in actual fact, it's a Chinese watercolour, and I love it. And it goes rather well in this room. And the bathroom's up the stairs there.
It's a great space.
There's always building going on here, and it's quite difficult because of our proximity to Langar Grade 1 listed church. So everything I do is quite small and looks as if it's always been here. So this is a cellar, and this in the wall was our air raid shelter. I mean, we used to sleep on bunk beds along here. There were a lot of mosquitoes. All the bottles have little collars on, with little duplicate papers, and they have their bin number, what they are, and they usually have their price on as well. And this was a system that stopped me being robbed sideways, because when I started, I couldn't believe people would take wine, because if they'd asked me, I would have given them a bottle, or I could have charged them at cost. But I lost, I think, in 1 year, £20,000 worth of wine. And so when Toby came, he came up with this system. And it makes it virtually unrobbable.
You get rid of the pan-fried scallops and you have the scallop mousseline tureen on. Just slice and serve it.
Toby Garrett was a godsend to Langar at a time when I was being robbed by a succession of chefs, staff and suppliers.
Soul-lined tureen with the scallop mousseline inside it.
He managed to turn imminent bankruptcy round to a nice profit at the end of the year.
And that's a very good slice and serve one for Saturday nights, because you get 14 portions out of a tureen. Very good on profitability as well.
Toby arrived with a pocketful of crumpled letters of recommendation from some of the best restaurants in England. He is very rare in the catering trade. He is scrupulously honest.
We can put the pigeon breast back on, but in the autumn we switch to the mushroom tart. Because we're using the broken duck leg foie gras at the moment, battery foie gras.
Yeah.
You know, the ducks which are grown in cages with broken legs.
Oh, don't talk to me about it.
Well, that's what the foie gras is made from.
I don't know about it. I'd rather not know.
Yeah, well, that's what it's made from. You might as well put them to some good use, but that's how they made those foie gras.
Yeah. Anyway, I really love Toby, and I've taken him into my dysfunctional family. However, there is a downside to him. He seems to lack an emotional thermostat. So when a member of his family dies, like his father's just died now, he completely loses the plot. And for a few weeks, he's a terrible nuisance. Luckily, this only happens every 2 or 3 years and lasts for 2 or 3 weeks. But while it's going on, it's a real pain. Waiters are always a problem. They come and go, but rarely talk of Michelangelo. And the other thing is I do on a busy night, when you've all got your hands full, and we're slightly overbooked, I'll take the orders, because I can take the orders and tell a story and keep them amused, while the chefs, you know, it's to give the chefs time.
Yeah.
We're never static. We're always going up a notch, up a notch, up a notch. Have you got a CV that you can show me?
Yes, of course.
You haven't given me my pills this morning yet.
I haven't got any.
You haven't got any left?
No.
Really?
No.
Ran out. I really want some.
Well, hold on a minute now, and I'll find. If you look on my desk, you'll find.
Which desk? You've got several.
In my bedroom somewhere, you'll find a 5 milligram orazepine.
Okay, I'll go and take that then.
My days are a non-stop confusion of dealing with everything and everybody. And where else have you I often wonder how much longer I can go on. In London, yeah. Another hectic day, an anniversary party for 40, and then full dining room this evening. And Toby's still out of order.
Oh dear, it's a mess.
I'm very lucky to be able to employ young people from the locality during their holidays. And this supplements the permanent staff. So that's 6, 10, 14, 18. I certainly couldn't manage without Michael. He's as much Langar Hall as I am. Originally he came about 13 years ago as a kitchen porter, and he was the most organised kitchen porter that we've ever had. And I noticed that when he came in at 6 o'clock at night, everybody calmed down and was happy. And then one day he came to dinner with his wife, and he walked into the restaurant in a suit looking absolutely marvellous. And I knew then that he was completely wasted in the kitchen, and I soon had him out of there, and he's the perfect maitre d'. He knows everyone, remembers what they had to drink, and tells me what to do all the time. They're all staying the night, so that's no problem at all. Great. Wonderful.
And do it properly.
Obviously you don't know Soho then. Raymond's notorious. I used to work at the Groucho Club as well for many years. You ever been in there?
No.
No. I dived over the bar once in the Groucho Club at a staff party.
Is it a tall bar?
I don't know, but what was his name? Callum was head chef, and he was plying me with whiskey. I was went straight over the top of the bar.
Just knocking back whiskey to the bar?
I don't know. Can't remember what happened. I just remember jumping over the top of the bar in the Groucho Club.
Okay, you okay, Toby?
Thank you.
The Nelson Society all together, and I think there's another 2 tagged on at the end.
Good, that's very nice.
So that'd be nice. Yes, she's coming.
It is rumoured that the new chairman lives in Leicester.
Oh ho!
Right.
Let's get him along.
Right, so...
I like to run through the menu and take the orders for the dinners. It's my great pleasure. This is my moment when I'm on stage. It's my happy hour. It's my opportunity to introduce myself to new customers and swap news and gossip, and also to find out exactly who is in the restaurant and why. So we're looking
homegrown lamb.
Homegrown lamb on the menu tonight.
Is it? Oh, lovely. Yes, we're desperate lamb fans.
Oh, good.
Oh, lamb.
Because I've had to take ever since I've had the ducks, I've had to take the duck off the menu.
One of the original Spanish Inquisition, one of Imogen's family were. Father de la Casa Square, the first Catholic Mass on Cuba. Now, there's a nice way out.
Oh, well, that's fine. That'll give me a start. Yeah. It's such a simple menu that I hardly needs any explaining. But what I will add to it, it's got scallops, pan-fried scallops with pea puree, or it's got grilled goat's cheese with a salad, fillet of local beef, char-grilled any way you like, or pan-fried chicken supreme. All right, now we better just get some. That would be great. Oh yeah. Yeah. We got any more menus, Pascal? Well, darlings, I've really helped you. It's only 10 to 7. I've got 2 crabs and 2 guinea fowl.
Wonderful.
They're quite happy outside. What do you want? What do you want me to sell tonight, Miko?
Fish,
Whatever. Fish. Okay.
Yeah, I'm notorious in Melton Mowbray. You ought to go to Melton Mowbray and check my reputation there. I've got the worst reputation in Melton. Hell's Angel, mushroom picker, all sorts of things.
But you've not recommended anything else than reading the telephone directory.
Me and Bambi filmed our own Hell's Angel traps when we were 16 with aerosol sprays. We formed the mutoid waste.
You formed it with aerosol sprays.
Yeah, we sprayed our cut-offs with aerosol sprays. We were the mutoid waste, the original mutoid waste.
Come and meet Ripley. Ripley's here. Go on, just rub into the
Well, so it's very nice to see you. I'm going to run through the menu with you.
I like the bit at the bottom.
It's Lincolnshire asparagus in season and a nice bit of fresh sea bass from Brixham. And then roast peach, raspberry and vanilla ice, so that's good. The vegetarian dish is a pepper roast in the oven with tomato, basil and goat's cheese. Nice Dover soles, and a very good fish tonight. The Dover sole, the turbot and the sea bass. Scallops, big fat scallops with pea puree and mint dressing. And half a lobster you can have as a starter or a main course. And you can have it with chips. That's the ultimate. But you know, I always go for that South African red, that faithful hound.
Have you ever heard of the mutoid waste? Been all over Europe. Green buskers look like dogs, tinted windows. Me and Russell Deacon formed the mutoid waste in 1977. Yeah.
All right. Oh my goodness, I forgot about you. Now, anyone ready to order? I'm all right with scallops. I can't remember how many. I've lost my pad which said how many I had. You know we've had to take duck off the menu because you've got these little white ducks fluffing about the car park, quacking. And we couldn't sell duck on the menu at all, so we had to take it off. I know. Bit of fish, again, fish.
Is the sea bass nice?
Terribly nice, yeah, the fish is really good, yeah. Shall we put the bass, yeah?
Thank you very much.
I tell you what, haven't we got these menus for this party? Serving a party of 40 people with freshly cooked food, all at the same time, always puts pressure on the kitchen. Toby likes to boast that we can get the food from the kitchen to the table in 7 minutes, which I think we can.
I drove around the town.
Sure they
I went to Gall Street the wrong way, just for the sheer hell of it.
You go off and watch Pink
I am
Panther.
doing doo-dum.
All right.
Doo-dum.
Off you go. Go on.
You're so strict, Imogen.
I know. Push off. Boys and girls, no panic. They're going to, it's another 15 to 20 minutes, and today they're waiting for you. So don't panic, Mr. Mannering.
Cheese, please.
Robert!
It's horrible, isn't it? It's totally repulsive.
Toby, if you don't go, take your diazepam and watch another Pink
There's no
Panther.
more films on telly
I
tonight.
do, there must be
It's all
some.
about empires and the American empire. Well, I know that's going to collapse.
I think this is a moment for a cigarette.
Boring. It's a pre-drawn conclusion. Bush is in Paris and the American empire's going to fall.
Well,
It's a foregone conclusion.
you nip and take that diazepam.
There's 32 on there. We've got 8 here, that's 4. We've got 2 balls and 2 results.
Robert, there's 42 people altogether.
He can't handle emotion, but I must say, he said to me today, he said his sister was waiting to shoot him with this gun, and I'd lured him over there to see her.
You know what he told me yesterday?
What?
He said he's going to phone the police.
He
He
did.
actually phoned the police.
He did.
To get...
About his sister having his
Sister, yeah.
father's guns, but they're all licensed, so that's all right. But he's convinced that I'm going to shoot him, and actually he's absolutely right, because I will shoot him one of these days.
2 there, that's it. Come back in a minute.
She was able to choose a part.
Langar Hall is so small that it doesn't have a separate banqueting room, and we tend to do weddings in the mornings from 11 to 5 o'clock. And so when we do a party of, let's say, 40 people for a small wedding, and then that evening we have maybe 60 guests for an a la carte dinner, we have to take out all the tables, change all the linen, lay it all up for the dinner service. That's a lot of work to do in a short space of time. But it's all hands to the till. We all muck in.
Michael, are you going to wear yours?
What about this red shirt?
I think it's good, this red shirt. I like the red shirt.
If you're
Everybody
all
likes the red
wearing-
shirt.
If
I like the
you're
red shirt
wearing
too.
suits, Paul Smith suit, shall I wear my Paul Smith suit
That would be quite
with
cool.
my red shirt? I mean,
Yes.
it's not out for dinner, is it? But then I'm an old woman. I wouldn't wear them.
Yeah, you look groovy.
I'm going to put the trousers on. Much as I love my days at Langar, there are times when I'm glad to get the hell out. Tonight, Michael, Pascal and myself are going to the annual Nottingham Food Awards, and we're dressed to the nines.
They would very much.
It's fun to meet up with all my friends in the local catering trade. I like to network and catch up with all the gossip. I'm at the top table with all the celebrities. That must be a good omen. There's Roland Rivron and celebrity chef James Martin. Oh dear, this looks suspiciously like fusion food. So I especially want to win this year because the judges came when Toby and I were away in India. And I want to prove that without us, Michael and Pascal can do the job just as well, if not better. However, I notice there's some pretty hot competition.
The nominees for Best Out-of-Town Restaurant of the year 2004 are Cafe Blue of Newark, Langar Hall of Langar, Perkins of Plumtree, and finally Tom Brown's of Gunthorpe. And the winner of Best Out-of-Town Restaurant is Cafe Blue.
Never mind, we'll live to fight another day, and now it's time to get back to work. And of course the boys and girls love it that I do the washing up because none of them like doing it. And this is the thing I really do for relaxation. I love doing the washing up. I used to do a lot of gardening, so I never mind getting my fingers dirty. I mean, these are expensive. They cost about 3,000, something like that. When you think you could easily pay, I know how much you pay for domestic machines, you could easily pay about £6,000 or £1,000, couldn't you? So I'd rather have a big one like this and get on with it. I love it. It's my favourite toy. This is perpetual motion, isn't it, when we get it right, Daniel? Have you started doing your exams?
This week I'm starting to do. I've done a few before half term.
chemistry, physics, biology and maths. You're a very clever boy, Daniel. It's got it almost done. A little bit for the cats. I know, but you know what happened? I didn't win, or Langar didn't win, the best restaurant outside. I know, ghastly place, isn't it? So I was frightfully soured off about that. Tell you what, it's not about restaurants and food. It's about a place to be seen and a fun bar on a Barnsley. Yeah, yeah. So I didn't storm out in a sulk. I had a really good night, actually.
Watch over, Jack, you'll get run over. All my Irish family are UVF, mate. Or UVF. They are. Yeah, but I'm not a Christian. I hate Christianity, I do. I think Christianity has come to an end.
He's never violent. He makes me a bit violent, and I'll constantly beat him up in exasperation, but he never retaliates.
Come on, then. Oh, and it's a fourth strike.
I like to take a 40-minute break during the afternoon for a cat nap or some meditation. But my room is really too small for everything, including my office. So I'm going to take over Toby's room next door, while he moves temporarily into the mobile home.
Bill, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa! That ain't going to come in like that. Here's now, you only want to clear this side here now.
I don't want you with an axe, Toby.
Gate cut.
There's plastic gates, and I widened them once. Oh, look, he's got it. There are 3 generations of this family here today, and I've known them all for a long time. It's great to see poor Roy working so hard. I'm more used to seeing him on a Thursday night with his glamorous wife, drinking Dom Perignon and eating lobster. You try this, it's really lovely. While we're waiting for the crane to arrive to move the mobile home into position, Toby seems to have chosen this moment to clear out his attic.
You're all right, you're all right. Are you happy with that?
The Scroop family were lords of the north of England, and they were immensely powerful at the time. They were friends of kings, traitors, Archbishop of Canterbury, Chancellor of the Exchequer, you name it, the Scroops were into it. One is mentioned in Shakespeare's Henry V as a traitor who was beheaded, and his head was displayed on the end of a spike all the way through from the south of England to the north. And the last Lord Scroop had no legitimate children by his wife, but he had 5 illegitimate children, all daughters, by his housekeeper Martha Jeanes. And to the eldest of this, Arabella, he left the entire estate of Langar Hall. And Arabella Scroop married into the Howe family, John Howe, a young politician from Hampshire. And they were the founders of the Howe dynasty, which were an enormously powerful family in the 18th century. They doubled the size of the house. They put a Georgian front onto it, and it must have been a big centre for everything that was happening at the time. On the death of Admiral Lord Howe, the house was deserted, and they pulled the house down. But they left the kitchen wing, a fragment of the house, and built the modest farmhouse that you see today onto that wing. And the kitchen, like some strange heart to the house, is still beating. The Admiral Lord Howe had a long career in the British Navy, and it ended at his great victory, which is known as the glorious 1st of June, 1794. When the Navy returned to Spithead, the whole court of George III came out to greet them, and there was a great victory procession back to London, and bonfires lit all over England, and general rejoicing. The memory of Lord Howe, Admiral Lord Howe, and his great victory on the 1st of June, 1794. Lord Howe. He was so used to a life at sea that he never ate at a table with anyone else.
Very sensible.
And he only had chicken. And his wife, who was a great friend of Queen Charlotte and used to entertain for the court of George III, had a fantastic French chef. And it was everybody's great treat to be allowed to go and eat in her house. But the Admiral, A, wouldn't take part in any dinner party, but also he don't eat chicken. And one day the French chef came, he said, look, I am cooking the best food in England. Please, will you try one of my dishes? And the old boy said, well, today, as a special concession, you can roast my chicken. Every year we hold a reception to celebrate the glorious 1st of June, followed by a concert in the church and dinner.
Love is like a gypsy free. He knows no Lord will have done me well. If you do not love me, I love you. And if I love you, then take care. If you do not love me, if you do not love me, I love you. But if I love you, if I love you, then take care.
But she said they're going to have a set menu.
Hooray, Toby is
Yeah,
better,
I've got the crabs
and
ready
back
to
at
go.
work in the kitchen.
Hey? Yeah, you can do, yeah. Don't grill your cheese yet.
No, I'm not, mate. Yeah.
But don't give the langoustines too long. No, grill the langoustines, yeah? Don't put them through the oven.
You know why? Because that one.
The test match special team discovered Langar Hall about 15 years ago, and they come every year when the test match is at Trent Bridge and stay here. And that's my highlight of my year, and I really enjoy their company.
Thanks very much.
There's always somebody I want to see who's coming in. I think, oh, I'll go off today. And then I think, oh, no, Mr. So-and-so's in tonight. I must pop back in. Because I generally want to see them.
And Spicer, Peck.
That's right, this Peck, you're right. Who is that boy that I
That is Davis.
That's right. He was
And then that head there is an Epton, I think.
They won't sit. Right, hold back on all that then, Michael. Pull your ghost cheese out, mate. They won't sit.
No, this is Tabram.
Or Stephen Fry.
No, that's something. This is Tabram. This is prep school.
Prep school.
Oh,
You go back and
One man said, could we have pepper sauce? Sauce on the side of the pepper sauce. Otherwise, that's it.
Okay, so we've got 2 beef here with a pepper sauce, mate.
Yeah, got one on there.
Yeah. 2 langoustines, Michael, yeah? Yeah, where's your garlic butter? Yeah, great. Right, Mike, you got a pan on for the scallops. Get some pea puree on. Put that finely through the dressing before we tip it over. Just squeeze some lemon juice in there. Don't dress the sandwiches away. Don't put it over. Just leave it like that. Daniel, can we sit at this table of 4? What number?
Table of 4.
Yeah.
I'm there really as a sort of guest liaison, there to meet and greet and just be around. I'm a sort of performing bear, if you like. And I come into a dining room where people are having a nice private dinner, and the top light is on. Well, as an old person, I can't stand a top light, so I switch the top light off and put the side lights on. All those little tiny details.
She's having the cheese.
Mozzarella cheese with pepper.
Yeah, but the thing is, she's having the goat cheese. I think that's a good idea. I'll leave it with
No,
you.
no,
anyway.
you can have what you want, baby. No problem.
Okay.
Right, Michael, where are you? Potatoes look nice, Gaz. Turn the radio on if you want, Michael. Turn the radio on or off, Gaz? We're looking for ideological high ground when it comes to the integrity of the ingredients. And being a neighbourhood restaurant, we like to use neighbourhood ingredients. And so, like, sort of the integrity which goes with our purchasers, there is a reason we're spending money with those people, and that's to actually generate some kind of local economy. And that's one of Imogen's driving factors within that hotel. Who made the soup, Michael? It's a bit thin, mate.
1 ghost cheese, 1 soup, 2 langoustines.
No, that's fine. Oh yeah, here we are. What we're doing is we're looking at schools. Yeah, you can do the reception.
My daughter Louise and grandchildren Lila and Alfie have arrived from India to escape the rainy season, and luckily they'll spend most of the summer here. I'm sure we could fly there, you know.
Yeah, of course you can. You can fly everywhere in India.
I think you'll fly.
I think it's much easier.
Train. No. Well, that's that.
Yeah.
I think that my plan is to get me and Toby out of the situation, because while we're there I can't get a really good manager for Langar, so that I can come and go without interfering. All I need to do in the evening is see some guests, be around the place, but stand right back.
Yeah.
Then I'll have much more time with you. Be in India loads of the time.
That's got to be our vision, hasn't it? Because the time goes so fast. It's so precious.
Well, you're the most autocratic person I've ever met.
Yeah, you have to ask.
What's the description used in your book? A despot.
Benevolent despot. I will never sell Langar during my lifetime, and I'm hoping to pass it on to Louise, and I'm very pleased to notice that Lila is more than anxious to take over.
Hello, Langar Hall. Can I help you? Right. For 6 people. Gareth.
Our play is done, and the rain it raineth every day. A great while ago the world began with a hey-ho, the wind and the rain, but that's all one. Our play is done. Our play is done. Our play is done. Our play is done. Oh, the rain it raineth
My father gave me a present for life, as well as a life, when he handed Langar Hall over to me all those years ago. And I'm deeply grateful to him. I never imagined I could afford to live here very long, but now I'm looking forward to spending the rest of my life here. Even the garden is flourishing, and for the first time in 100 years, the path at the back of the moat is clear. And there is a boat on the water.